Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to another Agroforestry Academy video. If by the end of the video you like the video, you feel someone, should be, you know, into this information, do share it with them, alright? Give us a hand, that's the best way you can support us and keep us bringing you new content. Right now I'm in the challenge for silage. We're making silage for the first time here in Situ de Jazz. We're working with a lot of guandoo beans, really just produce so much matter. The guandoo beans are also known as pigeon peas. We haven't waited for the actual beans in itself. From what I understand, the beans in a green state, yeah, you can eat it and the animals. And then after it matures, you can also pick those beans and you can roast them for chicken and things like that. So it takes away the toxic elements of it. So we're using great deal the guandoo beans, pigeon peas. We started separating. We showed you in a quick video our machine where we've got the Mexican sunflowers. We're shredding them over there. We're picking it up and feeding it to the cows now while it's all green. But when we go to the silage, we turn this baby here over facing here, and then it falls into there. And then we've got the little sacks and we compact it. This machine basically compacts it into these sacks, and then we get all the compacted silage where we can store. So really, we planted lots of corn this year, and I just don't find it's enough volume. So obviously we always have an intention to mix it with things. So we're mixing it with the guandoo beans, at least 20%. I tried to give it about 10% of moringa. I wouldn't go much more than that because the taste of moringa might put them off the whole thing. But giving it the actual boost. There's loads of other things that we've planted in this season, like cassavas and that, but the cassavas, they're not ready for this year, so we plant them for next time we make silage next season. Now today's video, really I want to talk about some of the difficulties we're finding. It's very positive. We've got to work it all out, but it's very costly. First of all, we had to purchase these machines, we have to purchase these plastic bags, we had to plant this corn, we had to manure it, and then then we've got to harvest this and take it over to the machines. And then then you spend in a day, say you can do about 50 sacks, 2 guys, if they're totally dedicated. See the cows are eating the guandoo beans. They've showed me that they want to eat this, so they are eating the guandoo beans. So I'm happy to give them some of that. So basically a lot of manpower to get it done. See my man here, we're carrying, because we're not large scale here, we're not mechanized, because if you come in with the tractors and you make the silage, that's great, but that's a larger scale. Here we're like a 6-acre farm, and if I show you this corn, this is on point for the silage. It can't be too green and it can't be dry. But what happened is, when you do get on with the silage, it's got to be dry weather. The leaves can't be wet. You can't have too much humidity in it, otherwise it could go wrong. Even if we put the bacterias in, we spray a little bit of bacteria there to help the fermentation. So this is the deal. It's just been raining too much. So what's happened to us? A lot of rain. We're looking for the window to cut. We didn't get that window, so I missed out on about an acre's worth of corn. Where it's past it now, it's a little bit too dry. The corn is hardened up, so that's past it. And what's happened now, I can't make silage with about an acre of my corn. Yeah, it was monoculture corn. Here around the edges it looks real bushy, but if you go into it, there's a lot of corn, and as you go in, the corn is developed well. It's like monoculture corn. Obviously we planted other grasses. It's going to be the legacy here. We've got a lot of Guinea Grass and other chieftain, other high protein grass, and loads of other fancy stuff here. But the point is, and a lot of weed came over with the manure as well, the chicken manure that we planted with. I'm not so upset about that, because after I finish harvesting these corn, I'm just gonna hoe it all down, you know what I mean? So we got all that material back, giving back to the soil. So I've hardly stolen anything away, if you consider the amount of mass that is produced here, because most of it's going to come back. So what I've decided is, this corn has dried up, so we're just going to harvest the corn in itself, and even these leaves, they're gonna go back to feed the soil. So here it's really a case of me preparing the soils. 1 acre of monoculture. Well, like I said, it's a consortium of other grasses, but it's just like old pastures and that. So it's really poor soils, even though I've put manure in there. So really I'm going to dedicate to feed back to the soil, apart from the actual corn, which we're going to harvest dry. And then with that, I'm going to shred that up dry, and then kind of like have that as a concentrated powder to sprinkle on the silage that we have made in the drought. So we're going to have the dry corn shredded into powder, which we're going to, you know, enrich in the silage that we were able to make. Now it's amazing the kind of corns we're going to be able to harvest, where we've planted it in, you know, not monocultural system, where we planted it with the tree beds. We've got some corn over here, sort of midway. We've got some corn there, which we showed you, not so positive there, and we've passed it now, so we're going to shred that. This is our construction for the yogurt factory and things like that, where we're going to work with the milk. Now, if you just bear with me, we're going to come to the, you know, this is our poly farming system. Yeah, I've actually got to come back and update you guys on this. Lots of nice cherry tomatoes and that, but you know, look at this corn. This is a different story. Look at that, it's all organic as well. So this is a whole different ball game. So right now I'm going to focus on the silage on this corn. We've not passed it, it's still green, so we're going to be able to use this quality material. There's still a lot of quality green there, because when you get that dry corn, that dry, you know, the stem of the corn, the cows actually spend more energy digesting that than they're actually getting nutrition back. So it comes to a point where you better cut your losses there and give that back to the soil, enriching the soil for next season. Because I planted Guinea grass, we're going to cut everything down, and I'm going to hope the Guinea grass comes shooting in. I'm not going to hope, we're going to see the Guinea grass shoot up with all the power from everything that we fed back to it. And because it's fast growing grass, at first it was by seed, so it's kind of in a competition with all the weed. But now that it's established, the roots, and we cut it down, it's going to shoot up in real good speed and beat all the weed. So this is a process over there of like enriching the soil and preparing it for the Guinea grass. So before the rain ends, we're now here in March, it rains until mid-May. So before the rain ends, we're going to have a nice harvest of the Guinea grass. So basically we're going to invest now in the corns that are in the tree beds. Spectacular. Different style, do you know what I mean? Different style. Here we've got the boom cassavas. Yeah. We've been here, look, the eucalyptus coming through at the bottom there. We've been in here. I need to come in and do a separate video about the system here, how well it's developing. We've been harvesting a lot of tomatoes, more tomato than we can possibly even sell with my setup, existing setup at the moment with just local markets. So we've been, you know, stocking a lot of that, putting it in the oven, you know, stocking it all, doing them little pots of fermented tomatoes, lovely to eat with, you know, whatever you like, your tacos or whatever, your guacamoles and things like that. All right, so I'm just sharing with you some of the difficulties that we had because of the rain. We weren't able to do the silage at the right time, so it passed it. So what we're going to do now, we're going to let that dry, and then, you know, give back all that green mass to the soil and make only good use of the corn, the dry corn, where we're going to powder that up and enriching the existing silage. All right, so yeah, we're going to be showing you more of that as we go along. So these areas here now, basically, see, we're taking out the corn, we're bringing down the weed at the same time, and here's the, what we call Mombasa, it's called the Guinea grass. All right, this is going to boom now. This is really going to boom. There's a lot of organic matter, you know, there's a lot of organic material, so it's really going to boom now once we really give it a nice clean cut like that, and it's going to beat the weed second time around. So this is the corn that's on spot. This corn here is on spot for the silage, so we're going to run and get it right with these fellas here. All right, so from the Agroforestry Academy crew, this one's you. Don't forget to check out our Instagram, our YouTube. Obviously you're here now with the YouTube, share that one, our Facebook page, and we've got the Facebook group where you can bring all your doubts and we're discussing things there. All right, respect, till next time.